Hello, and welcome to Talk, Therapy, Heal, a dynamic and engaging show that endeavors to shatter the many stigmas surrounding mental health and therapy. Talk, Therapy, Heal is a collective of licensed counselors, therapists, and life coaches unique in areas of specialization, expertise, and experience. Through the art of curated, genuine, compassionate conversation, we get to the deep things. We are so excited you chose to begin your healing journey with us. Tune in to Talk, Therapy, Heal. Hello, and welcome to Talk, Therapy, Heal, a dynamic and engaging show where we get to the root of things.
Yes.
Join us this evening on another episode.
Yes, and tonight what we're going to be speaking about, so excited, overmothered, underfathered, or undermothered and overfathered. Stick with us as we go through this. What does that mean?
I know. What does it mean to be overmothered or underfathered? Vice versa.
So, it is a dynamic where the child receives excessive maternal involvement, excessive protection, or excessive emotional control that goes beyond the normal, healthy nurturing, and begins to limit the child's development of independence, identity, and emotional autonomy.
Wow, that's a lot.
Let me sit with that for a moment. So maybe in its simplest terms, it's a mother that excessively protects, is emotionally enmeshed, and has difficulty allowing the kid to be themselves.
Wow. So
Wait a
that's the
minute.
overmother part.
Say that last part again.
The full definition.
No,
or
no, no.
just the-
Just what you just said.
it it causes difficulty in allowing independence, allowing the child to be fully who they are.
And so this is from the overmothered part.
Yeah, overmother. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Is there a difference when it comes to the father or underfathered? Or
Underfathered is more of it's more. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. It refers to a developmental experience in which a child receives insufficient fatherly presence, guidance, protection, or emotional engagement. So from a father or father figure in the formative years.
The formative years.
So we're talking about the
So-
impressionable younger
Yeah. So
child.
dad could be present in the home, but if he's not emotionally engaged,
Wow.
right?
Or if he's not there at all.
Or if he's
Yeah.
not there at all, right?
And I think when we look at this, we have to look past societal norms and gender roles. Because when you get to that point where you say you were overmothered, let's say from a male perspective, mom she did and does everything for you. You never learn how to wash clothes. You never learn how to cook. You never learn how to wash dishes.
Right.
You never learn some of the basic things to do around the house because you expected your mother. Well, she did everything for you, so now that's what you expect from her, and maybe even your wife or your girlfriend now. There are certain skills that you don't learn because she tried to do everything for you. Now, we have to stop and ask ourselves a question. This may be a problem for that child, but it's also a problem for the mom. Why were they doing that in the first place? Were they doing it because the man wasn't present? Were they doing it because they felt like they had to do everything? Did it come for a point and I'm just trying to keep my child safe from all this other stuff, but you have to realize in your attempt to keep them safe, you're still putting them at danger for other things, for her. And so being overmothered sometimes suffocates an individual because you don't get an opportunity to experience some things that you need to on your own in order to grow. And so let me give you just one quick example. Imagine that child, as we used to say, that was lap spoiled. Because every time the mama cried, she
The
picked them
baby
up.
cried.
They never learned how to be by themselves,
Self-soothe.
right? And so now every time something happens, they're going to cry and look for mama to fix it. And then when that comes up to the point where they're 3 months old, 6 months old, 6 years old, 16 years old, it's the exact same thing that they're experiencing because they keep doing the same thing that they did when they were a baby.
Wow.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting up here thinking about it from a parent's perspective.
Mhm.
So let's say parents who are listening, because I never even thought about this actually until now. But when I guess we as a people in general, when something is said and we know that we felt, we try to do the first thing we'll do is we'll become defensive and shut off what we're hearing instead of actually listening to it,
Mhm.
taking it in and being like, ooh, maybe that wasn't a good thing. So from a parent's perspective, I could see where, as you were saying, so let's say the mothered and the under father. So let's say the father wasn't present there. Well, it's automatically a spirit of defensiveness.
Yes.
Well, you don't understand. I had to be the mother and the father. Or if it was the under mother and over father, it goes to what I had to be
Mhm.
and what I was trying to be for the child, but never really sometime maybe looking at it like, is what I'm doing, even though I think what I'm doing is good,
It could be.
I think what I'm doing is right, is it actually hindering my child more than actually helping them?
Right.
And how do I need to, as we say in the military, adjust fire? How do I need to kind of change some things to do it different? So that way, because to me, the end game, the end result, if you will, of this will be what would the successful outcome of the child be?
Right.
Okay, I'm wondering, and this is just me. I'm all over here in deep thought, and I'm trying to take especially these definitions of
Mhm.
being overmothered and underfathered and such. But when I think about it, like you said, kind of from the perspective of the parent, how did they become a mother who overmothered? How did they become a
That's good.
father who
Mhm.
underfathered?
Mhm.
So let's take it back to attachment.
Attachment.
So if
Yep.
we look at, we as people, we are created for connection,
Mhm.
right? And so in our earliest experiences with mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, any caregiver, if our experiences lead to maybe, the physical presence wasn't there, emotional presence wasn't there, um, maybe there was a level of trauma
Mhm.
that had been experienced. But i- in our younger years, you were just kind of explaining it with the child
Mhm.
and the mom
Absolutely.
coming to the
Mhm.
child and crying. But those earlier attachments that we have with our moms, with our fathers, create patterns
Mhm.
of how we connect and how we attach. So that parent,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, becomes the overprotective parent or the over mothered or over fathered,
Mhm.
what have you, whatever context, as a result of how they, you know what I'm saying,
Their their
They
upbringing.
their
Right.
upbringing
Mhm.
Okay.
and their attachment. So I'll give another example, a little more disclosure. Um, I had experienced, love you, mom. Hello.
Just
um,
say,
a mom that was strong, but not emotionally present,
Okay.
Mhm.
right? Not emotionally connected, um, to me, to, to me.
Okay.
And so what that did was that caused me to um, develop uh, independence over independence because I couldn't rely on mom, so I had to rely on me. And
Mhm.
so that in and of itself turned into not asking for help, thinking that I had to do things on my own. And it kind of translated into every area
Mhm.
of my life. But to take it back, because I didn't receive that emotional support that I needed, and truth of the matter is she didn't have it to give.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She didn't have it to give. But because I didn't receive that, that shaped how I saw relationships. It shaped how I showed up, with my husband and with my kids. It shaped how I showed up on the job. It shaped just how I interacted and how I attached to, you know what I'm saying, like other people. So in that regard, emotionally, I was undermothered.
Mhm.
Okay.
Does that
Okay.
does that make sense?
It makes
Mhm.
sense. So do you
Mhm.
think that it caused you, or you got the healing that you needed prior to become someone who was either over mothering or under mothering?
I don't think right now, and then the kids can probably tell.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm over or under
Okay.
mothering
So it's the
right now. I
balance.
think I'm at a balance.
Mhm.
And so I'm there present emotionally. I'm more aware that because I didn't have it, that there would be the tendency in me to over.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? To
Okay.
overperform and, "Oh, how you doing? What do you need? Are you good?" You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
kind of thing versus, "Hey, how you doing?"
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Okay.
checking in,
Mhm.
you know, not being a helicopter. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
Hopefully.
Like mom,
Agree.
So
over in them.
well, I hear you saying that there was a potential for you to become an over
Oh
mother
yeah.
had you
Mhm.
not sought or got the proper help that you
Oh yeah.
needed so that you wouldn't become that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And think how that happens
Mm,
from a family perspective
Mhm.
of things being passed down.
Mhm.
If one person's mother was overly protective, always hovering,
mhm,
but it was like, I don't like the way that feel. So now when they come down to their child, they might decide, well, I'm
mhm.
not going to be there enough.
Yeah, they're gonna
I'm
just
going to give you
give
that freedom.
freedom.
And the key
Mhm.
is finding that balance is
Balance.
there.
Yeah.
And what we have to understand is that when individuals really hover like that, they're preventing their child from being able to learn how to problem solve for themselves sometimes,
Mhm.
decrease self esteem.
Mhm.
They may not be self aware.
Mhm.
Now, I'll tell you, I wasn't trying to do this because I didn't know any of this at that time. But my youngest daughter, we were overseas in Germany. She had just got to the point where she learned how to crawl. And she actually crawled between two of our couches and got stuck. And I sit there and I watched her.
She was just crying
And I
over
said, when
it.
she got in there, she'll figure out how to get out. And she cried some more. So I went over and I just kind of grabbed her and I pulled her out. She whipped around, then I put her right back in there, and then she backed out. So sometimes when they are in those situations, you have to let them get a feel for that and show them different options so that when they get older, they know how to make choices.
Mm.
They know how to come up with alternative answers that may be there for the problems that they have.
I get problem solving.
Yeah,
They
that's
learn how
it.
to problem
But
solve.
if you always doing that for them, they'll never learn how to do it. And that's why you would see individuals now that will go, let's say, to a college admission office. Well, Johnny, what class are you taking?
Mom.
You look right at mama
Yes. Mhm.
because they've been answering for them all
Their
along.
whole life.
You have to let them get out there and do some things on their own. A baby will never learn how to walk if you don't put them on their feet.
Right. But when I set up and I think about to this topic, not all, but I've dealt with a lot of clients
Mhm.
that like mama was their end all be all, daddy was their end all be all, and then they passed away. So then it's like, who am I without
Them.
them?
Hmm.
So that's what, even though they may come and say, well, I was told that, my mom passed away. I have to come to grief counseling or whatever. And when we really start digging off and through there,
Mhm.
the I'm gonna say it like this. I'm not saying in what I'm saying, don't be there for our children, and then especially when they become adults. But it's like they knew nothing.
Hmm.
Or someone kind of said it, but it made me think about basic training.
Mhm.
And so we was telling our son, look, when you get ready to go to basic training, use these tools that we taught you because our children, being that we were doing military couples we shared before, we started teaching them at the age of 5. Because if he got to go to the field, I got to go to the field, he deploy, and someone have to keep our children, you at least need to know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a bowl of cereal,
Make up the
clean up after
bed. Yeah.
yourself.
Hmm.
You don't want to be a burden on people. So he goes, and this is going to make y'all laugh because y'all going to remember basic. So he goes, we listen to him, he sends a letter, he made it, the whole procedure. So when we get the phone call, Son, how you doing? Mama, I'm making so much money in here. Boy, what are you doing? That was the first, like, what are you doing? People didn't know how to wash their own clothes. They didn't know how to make the beds. And as when we went through, just nasty, exactly.
Putting the
They
white
didn't
clothes
know
in the dark
yeah, they
clothes.
just putting everything. They didn't know how much soap to put in or nothing. They didn't know how to iron their clothes. They didn't know how to make their beds. So for the time that we went through basic training, the drill sergeant would come in and flip everybody's stuff in that room. And because of one person not knowing how to do the basics. So yes, our son did come up and I was like, look, just be careful with it, the way you run it, because it was probably the same way when we went through basic training.
Yeah.
So in that, parents, instead of getting offensive and saying, oh my gosh, so they saying now I'm over mothering or I'm over fathering. No, what basic skills does your child know? Nowadays, do they know what it look like to pay the bills? Do they even know what? Because most of the children, because we make it look so easy as parents, because we don't want our children to go through what we went through. I get it. We've been there. But when they don't have any basic life skills,
Right.
that's well, the school system should teach them. They don't know how to pray and seek God on their own when they get into a bind and mama and daddy can't get to you because God forbid there was a mass shooting or something on the job or something and they're frantic and I can't even use my phone. I got to be still, but you don't even know how to pray. But that's the church's responsibility. So I think sometimes as parents, if we're true to ourselves, what are we truly teaching our children? And how would they be able to function if, God forbid, you were not here tomorrow?
That's good.
That's really good.
Right.
I want y'all to hear too what she's saying. She's not asking anybody to become a perfect parent
No.
Exactly.
at all. To release the unrealistic expectations. Like,
Facts.
Right.
let it go.
Yeah.
Please let it go. It's about balance. That's
Right.
what I'm hearing you say. It's about balance. Yes, we can have our hands on some things, but certain things we need to remove.
Right.
Or what I feel like what I'm hearing, or what for me, what I'm seeing is not like a helicopter parent, but I'm hovering. I'm watchful. I'm seeing all, but kind of like how God does us,
Right.
right? He oversees everything, but he doesn't come and put his hand on every single thing we doing. He don't do that. You get a choice. So I feel like as parents, in order for us to not over mother or under mother or over father or under father, we just have to be present. You have to make your presence known.
Right.
Kind of like what you did with your daughter to show her there was an option. There was something else that you could do. So I'm going to put you back in a situation and let you do it. I'm not going to do it for you.
Absolutely. And that's that part of parenting where you have to try a few things to see how things come out. If you're not comfortable with your child going outside of your living room area, you know, you may have to put the little gates up or whatever. Give them some space. Sit there and watch it. Let them have that space to have trial and error. And as they get older, you have to kind of take a look at yourself as a parent and see what worked or didn't work for you. And that will help you create that balance. Now, I'll just tell you, this is self-disclosure for me. When our oldest son got ready to, he had graduated high school, and he came to us one day and he was like, hey, Dad. And I said, what's up? He was like, I want to go 6th Street.
In Austin.
Oh,
my heart.
And I said, okay. I said, did you talk to your mama about it? He said, yes. He kind of said no. I said, okay, we'll talk about it. I'll get back with you. So I went down and me and Shan started talking about it. And she said, well, what are your thoughts? I said, let him go. And she said, what? And I said, let him go.
Yeah.
And she said, why would you say that? I said, because I don't want him to end up like me. Because my mother, she wasn't overbearing and hovering, but she was trying to be so safe. Well, I don't want you going out to hang with girls. I want you to do that. So she shielded me from a lot of things that I didn't learn. And then when I got out and got in the Army, I jumped into the first thing that was smoking because I didn't think I could do any better. And it didn't end well. So I said, he has to be able to experience some things at an early age so he's able to understand that and deal with that as a adult. Your kids need to experience failure. They need to experience being told no.
That part.
They need to experience that nothing is always handed to them, that they're going to have to work for some things. But at the same time, you can have them experience being told yes with reward or whatever the case may be. Show them what it's like to get something because you had to work for it. It's just a balance that has to be there. And I would say he's probably in a better place now because he went out there and saw some of the things. And I remember this big as day. Laffy, forgive me, son. A few years later, he came back home from the Air Force. And he said, hey, I'm going to Austin, going back to 6th Street. And I said, okay. As parents, we worry because we know what
we stayed
things
up
are.
all night.
I stayed up all night in my man cave, sitting there watching TV, waiting on him to come back. All of a sudden, I heard he comes in, the door closed, then I heard boom. Then I heard boom, boom, boom. Oh, he been drinking. He comes up the stairs. He trying to. The more you try to be quiet, the more
The louder you are. Right.
And so he finds his way to. He goes right past me. He thinks I'm sleeping on my couch watching my big screen, but I'm like, that boy don't even realize I'm sitting right here looking at. He goes to bed. He gets up that next morning. He comes out. He's like, "Hey, Dad, what's?" I said, "Hey, so how was it last night?" "Oh, it was good." I said, "So how was all that drink?" "How'd you know I've been?" I said, "Boy, he was trying too hard to be quiet." And he came back later on. And he was like, "I'll never do that again."
Yeah.
That's what he said.
He said that it's not worth it. I don't see why people go out every night trying to do it's not worth it. So sometimes they have to experience some of the bad stuff. I'm not saying let them run amok, but they learn from that. Now they're able to make better decisions as they get older.
I got a question, just based upon what you said, Kenya, when you were talking about the reason why you said let him go to 6th Street, because you didn't want him to have the same experience as you.
Right.
And I see that as somewhere where a parent can become over
Absolutely.
because they don't want the child to have the same experience that they had. Just my husband, he tell y'all know his story. He was in the streets.
Right.
And so what I watched him do was be on his kids because I don't want y'all in the streets like I was.
Right.
I don't want you to have the same experiences that I had. And so I was the one who was kind of like you, like, and he was more like you, like, no, they ain't gonna. I'm like, let him do it. Let him have the experience. But I understood what he was trying to prevent. But in trying to prevent something and over parenting in any capacity will push that child into something or into a scene that they are not ready for to handle.
You have to balance it. And the biggest thing there is, I think, where some parents go wrong, we're not trying to beat parents up. You have to communicate. See, I sat down at the table with him and said, look, the reason why I let you go there was blah, blah, blah. We went all off in the detail and light starts clicking for them. And just like my youngest daughter, I don't know where she got this from. It's like when she was a baby, she had no fear. None. And so I remember going to my ex-boss's house. We were doing a thing with the people we work with, and she has a pool in the backyard. And I specifically remember, Cheyenne, you can get in the pool, but don't go towards that deep end. And when I looked down, she's going towards deep end. And all of a sudden, she went, bloop.
And I was like, oh, my baby has to die.
Hey. And I walked over to the edge of the pool and looked there, and her older brother was sitting there. I said, go get your sister. Everybody's like, you ain't got, I'm not getting wet. He goes down, he gets her, pulls up. I grab her, I put it right up on the side. I said, now, do you see why I told you not to go to the deep end? And she...
Don't do my baby.
And so she went all the way back down to the shallow end and waited around and played. 5 minutes later, she was
right back
at it. So sometimes they have to learn, but you can oversee that learning process without them getting hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
I call those corrective experiences.
There you go.
Yes.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Corrective experiences.
Corrective experiences.
What I would love to do is, because we were kind of talking about this a little bit, we didn't go too far into it, off, us doing the show. What it looks like on the flip side as an adult. When you are married to someone who's been overparent, undermothered, all the things. Because we were talking about what it kind of looked like in the counseling room, working with couples. But the thing that's interesting is what I hear wives say is, I'm not his mama. Why gotta his mama should have taught him that, and all those things. What I hear husbands say is, she is always comparing me to her father. So like if a situation come up, she don't go to husband. She calling daddy. Daddy. And so then that's a problem in their marriage because because I trust daddy, I don't trust you. I trust you enough to sleep with and procreate with, but I don't trust you enough to be there when I have an issue. And the crazy thing is I was the latter. But well, especially when we got in the Papa, he'd be like, "Don't be trying to tell Papa on me," whatever. But we would get into it because the thing was, although we no longer two, but one. Therefore, what God is joined together. Come on, somebody. But we were not fully in that respect. For me, able to operate as one. Because I know Papa was there. I don't give a dog what I needed. 10 toes down, he was there. And then when Papa passed, it was like somebody took and just put a hole right up and through me. Because I'm like, I can't go on no more. So ask yourself what it may look like if you're listening to this. Were you overmothered, underfathered, or overfathered, undermothered?
Mm-hmm.
And how's that showing up?
Yeah, when you were saying that, I'm sorry, but I know we're always saying with the wives saying I'm not his mother, but what about the wives who are looking for a daddy
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't have one? Their dad underfathered.
Pick him out up.
Yeah.
Wow.
What that looks like.
Actually, I was doing that.
Oh,
Mhm.
looking for a dad.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for my dad. Yeah.
Wow.
And I say that because I grew up, self-disclosure, I grew up without a father.
Mm-hmm.
So he was absent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was a father figure
Yeah.
in the house,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have a father.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't even know. I had my dynamic was so strange because I had the independence of I am woman, watch me roar
Mhm.
kind of thing. I don't need you because my mama taught me how to do all the things
Mm-hmm.
I wish I had a daddy looking for these qualities in a man, but then also having that roarness about myself to where the dynamic of it was so strange in the marriage in the beginning. And I'm just like, I want you to be here in this capacity because it reminds me of something that I didn't have, even though I know what I didn't have, so I couldn't even say what that was and what it would even look like. Whole another show. Maybe we should do that. But but I was expecting him to be something that I didn't know what it should look like.
Right.
And then when he wasn't it, I was upset because he wasn't what I wanted, but I didn't even know what I wanted. But I was looking for a father, but didn't know what a father was supposed to be and what he was supposed to do.
Wow.
It was so screwed up.
Yeah.
Just so screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
All because I was underfathered.
Mm-hmm. And with that, when people are in those situations, they're unbalanced.
Very.
So it's just like having that wheel on your car. You ba-doom, 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 but when you go somewhere and they put something over here, they nail it here, and it gets balanced out. That's why children have to have a balance there. You can't leave the child with the mom all the time and then the father not have any time, or vice versa. It just throws something off. Now, I want y'all to see this. I tell people this all the time. I learned so much from animals. Only thing I do is sit and watch them for a while. Now, this is going to sound crazy.
No, because y'all know I watch my cows and goats.
Okay, so watch this. Have you ever seen animals argue when they're raising their young?
Now, I ain't never seen animals
So
argue, period.
watch this. Let's just use lions for an example. Mother has the lion cub. She's nursing it. The father is going out getting meat. Everybody is doing their part, but that cub is getting everything it needs. Then it gets to a point where it's like, look, I understand you're around your mother all the time because I have to go up, but now I got to go teach you how to hunt. I got to teach you how to be safe. I have to teach you how to provide. I have to teach you how to know where you're going. So sometimes those animals would take a cub out and just walk away from it, leave it, but they're still watching it to see if you're going to get back home safe. And as humans, we can look at that and say, you know what, we can implement some of that and balance our children out. But too often, society tells us what we should do.
Right.
You divorce that man. For whatever reason he did or didn't do, he don't need to have that child. And now you're imbalancing the child.
Yes.
Oh, you go right into a question I just wrote down. What about mothers who force their children to be underfathered?
That's a whole nother show.
You force your child into being underfathered.
Yeah, because Go ahead. Go
I was
ahead.
just
Go
gonna
ahead.
say, in the marriage, it will show up as him not being the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You
Mm-hmm.
so and see what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of stuff going on in my brain right now.
Uh-huh.
Is I've seen this happen in a dynamic. So I will share being a single mom for some of you. Because see, sometimes people listen, like I said, with the spirit of offense, and you don't really know everyone's story
Mm-hmm.
up here. So being a single mom, thank God I didn't fall into this, but I heard a lot of single moms around me, teenage moms and all that. Well, he don't want to be with me, so I'm gonna make sure he don't see his child.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to hurt him because I'm hurt because he don't want to be with me no more. But you ain't asking yourself why he don't want to be with you. But that's a whole nother story for another day. And so using the child as a pawn,
Yep.
not realizing what that manifests to potentially in adulthood is the child having trust issues and all the things.
Or being manipulative.
Big dogs.
Mm.
Kids
Yeah.
learn that
Mhm.
like at the age of 2.
Yeah.
Or becoming adults who seek external validation instead of
Yes.
internal.
Mm-hmm.
It
It's-
all lines up.
Yeah.
And so for me, even when, okay, having a child, being a single parent, getting married, and I remember sharing with Kenya, we had this conversation like, no, I want him to still be around his father. Now, if he don't choose to be around his biological father, then that's on him. But no one can ever say that Shantra M. Martin then King now kept him away from his biological father. So we kind of, even though before we became counselors, we kind of maneuver and taught him because here I am marrying a husband who didn't have his biological father in the home. I'm hearing what females is saying. Oh, girl, because and at that time, because this was '96, I hate to say it, but this is what it was. Females was having children with different men for the child support,
Mm-hmm.
and this wasn't just black women. So don't go there.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's like, what is the outcome of the child?
Mm-hmm.
Then, as you had said, I believe you said one time before, when you introduce what the world says is a stepfather, but some say a bonus dad,
Mm-hmm.
into that equation, how do you bring that in? And because most women, I've seen this done, well, you don't call your biological, who very well may be a good man, but you don't call him your dad. You call the man that I married that you don't even know. So you're forcing fathership onto the child, and this baby just out here all kinds of confused because ain't nobody explaining nothing. But yes, ma'am.
Story of my life. Story of-
Sorry, I didn't know that.
Oh, you know about it.
Yeah, I know like
Yeah.
some,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not, you know what I'm saying?
You know about it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, these women, and
We got to do better.
we do, especially when we are using our children as pawns,
Yeah.
and you are keeping, and then the first thing, men ain't,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to do, they don't want to be, they don't want to be in these kids' life. But what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What are you adding to it? Now, I'm not saying that there are some men out here who probably don't want to be in their kids' life.
Right.
By all means, do what you have to do. But for those who do, and like Shan said, just because he don't want to be with you, boo-boo, don't mean he don't want his kids.
Fred.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He don't
It's
have to
unfair to
want
fight.
you. It's so unfair.
It make me feel bad.
So
But a good way.
unfair.
Right.
You also have to give credit to the child. Kids are not dumb.
Yep.
They pick up on things, they will see things, and if you really are truly in tune to them, they will come out and say the craziest things and make you as a parent be like, huh? So
Yeah.
I remember our oldest son, he may have been close to 3. Our second oldest son had been born, and he started to pick up on stuff. And he came to us one day, he was like, he said, Mama, he said, I'm not understanding this. And she said, Laffy, what's wrong? He said, why is his name King and my name ain't King?
At 3.
If that's my dad.
Smart.
And I'm like, oh, I don't know how we're going to explain this one right up.
Yes.
Smart.
We did the best we
Oh,
could.
my God.
And then his next thing was this, well, when he gets older, he's going to call him daddy. Who do I have to call? I said, you can call me that too. Sometimes kids pick up on things like that, and you
Yeah.
have to be in tune with it and be ready to break it down to the lowest level for them so that they have an understanding of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I had somebody tell me this one time, well, Kenya, that ain't your son. mess with him and find out.
That
Okay.
part.
You'll find out real quick.
Real
We don't
quick.
do the
Yeah.
halves, the steps,
Mm-mm.
the nothing in our
That,
home.
that's why when people, I was kind of introduced as a stepmom, and I was like, "Where you get that from?"
Right.
I ain't never been nobody's step
Mhm.
anything.
Mm-mm.
I'm his mother. If
Absolutely.
you want to if you want to be technical about it, then he has two mothers.
There you go.
My son
Facts.
does not have a step anything.
So
Right.
let me show you what that bonus mom or dad
Mhm.
can do. We say that a person may be under father because one father may not be there. You don't have to replace that role, but you can step in the position. And
Mm.
when you step into that position, you can show him what it's like to have a father. You can show correctiveness. You can show love. You can show forgiveness and all of that stuff there while still not trying to replace an individual that was supposed to potentially do something. And I think that's why some stepchildren, as they say, get over mothered or over fathered because you're overcompensating
Come on,
when you
Uncle.
don't have to.
Yes.
Mhm.
Let it be a natural thing.
Yes.
And for a lot of people, they don't let the natural aspect of parenting come out. They try to force
Force it.
everything. And what it is, you're trying to show
Look
that
like
you
a perfect
care.
picture.
But what I'm going to need you to do is
Reel
Trail
it
it
back.
pump them brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
Sit around and watch the awareness that's going on. See the interactions that are going on. That would lead you in a lot of different directions.
You know, oh Lord, I want to go two ways. Okay. Oh Lord. Okay, let me go with this one. One of the things that I'm seeing, okay, so as we're talking about the overmother, undermothered, overfathered, underfather, is even from back in our time and even now, that remember how here in the United States, the goal was, or American dream, if you will, go watch that show,
Nightmare.
two of them,
Mhm.
that part,
Mhm.
is that you had to have the perfect, what was depicted as the perfect family? The dad, the mom, a boy,
And
a
a
girl, the
and a
dog,
white picket fence.
the house.
Yeah.
And
With
so
a red door.
that part, because red means you paid off that house. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't know that history.
Yeah.
But anyway, the house is paid for. You don't want to do that. Now people be in your business. However, with that being said, I think sometimes it's this fixation, and even with what we're explaining, to fit our families into this perfect mold or model instead of realizing, no, this is, we are family. So I was sitting up thinking, now I'm going here with this. How we came up, the man is the head of the house, the provider, the this and the that. I feel like even with this, as we're trying to break it down the best we can, that it's a whole bunch of that's the only way I can put it. I don't know if I want to say mess time. It's just a whole bunch of stuff up in here.
Mhm.
And
It's a lot of variables.
come on
There you
with it.
go.
Come on with it. Put it to words now.
Yeah.
And so the thing is the ideals have shifted because it was something you said made me think about this, where you said the point where, your dad wasn't there. So you're like, I am woman, hear me roar. I can't remember if that's exactly what you
Yeah.
said,
Oh,
but
I
you
did.
know,
Mhm.
but the thing
And
is, what I've seen is because of this narrative that there are a lot of women that I work with that you marry a man and then you get mad because he's not acting like this husband that you wanted him to be based off of the ideas of the American dream picture that we just said. And so it's like you haven't, how can I say it? It was always said that when it came to marriage, that the man that's gonna marry is gonna come and ask for the dad's hand in marriage in a perfect picture and all that. What I'm seeing is a dynamic of women saving men and then mad because, and it's like, so I'm asking questions like this in counseling. How long y'all been together again? You have to make sure I'm numbers right. Okay, so y'all was married this long, you was dating this long. Okay, did you see him out on his own, paying his own bills, doing all the things before you said no? Okay, so where was he staying before he married you? At his mama house? Okay, so
y'all just switched roles.
Mm.
so I'm like, how are you upset that and it is a learning
Yes.
because if you didn't have it modeled for you
Yes.
or in your home, if that was the dynamic. No, mama took care of everything. Daddy didn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your dynamic, which is what Larisha's saying, but then you realize, wait a minute, it's not supposed to be like this potentially. So now I gotta fix it for the sake of people.
Absolutely.
Whatever your marriage is and your marriage roles, that's what works in y'all's home. But I feel we need to pull away, in a sense, from that American unrealistic dream of what gender roles are, societies, and all that. But in order to do all that, you got to go to counseling first. You got to fix, because I had self-disclosure, both parents in my home. I did, because that was another American thing. Children turn out perfect and well and overexceed if they have both parents. Okay, so you said
I had both parents in the house too.
but the attachment. What is the
I
attachment?
was
So
so
how do you?
attached to my daddy.
And me, I ain't had
Yes,
attachment to damn one of them.
Yeah.
She
So
said something
then,
about my papa.
look, that part it was about my papa. So I had to attach
Mm-hmm.
to something, because I was like, okay, something about this
Mhm.
dynamic ain't right to me as a kid. And I couldn't voice it because I was a kid that asked questions that would get in trouble. So I had to shut up and figure it out. So I was like, I had to go and attach to someone, which so happened to be my papa. But it's like, to see people struggle now,
Mhm.
what I find us doing, and we're not coming for the parents because we're all parents and grandparents. Understand what they had and what they had to deal with in that time.
Right.
But we really have to come to the reality in order to heal thyself. Not that we healing ourselves, but to work on ourselves is identifying what the truth was. Were you overmothered? Are you still overmothered? What mama is buying your groceries, you married, she coming and putting up your groceries.
Right.
She changed around your wife's stuff. You arguing with your wife, talking about, well, don't be talking about what my mama do for me.
She done organized y'all whole kitchen.
Man.
Then the decor and everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
wait, what?
But you going hard for your mama when you got a whole wife?
And I'm gonna say this one here. This
Oh,
I'm gonna take it
Father.
to a biblical perspective, and then
Okay.
Go
Look
ahead.
to that. Do it.
It would, you know, I was gonna go there too. It's all right. Say it. I'll take it back.
So I want to say it's Matthew 22:14. Many are called, but the chosen are few. A reason why a lot of these couples are having this issue is you keep calling people instead of choosing somebody. See, I called Jack for this, I called Jim for this, I call this person for that, because they're trying to make them fit the role of a daddy instead of choosing what the role of a daddy looks like. Okay, so Joseph wasn't
Jesus.
called, he was chosen.
Yeah.
There you go.
Say that one more time for the people real quick.
I don't even know if I can say it.
Oh,
when it hit
no,
me
no, no.
that
What
fast.
she just said real quick.
That alternate reality.
Alternate
Yes.
reality. Okay, keep going, Miss King.
And so what we have to understand sometimes is when we are over mothering, over parenting, look at all those dynamics that are there and look at it, break it down, and make the right choice. Sometimes when it comes to single mothers and single fathers, what we're really looking for somebody to do is replace an individual that should have been there instead of waiting for a person who is chosen to be there that's going to give you that good outcome.
You ain't lying.
And
Let them cook.
that's it. And
It's
so,
me.
and the thing about it is that there's this thing called deception. And that's why you can't go for everybody that you're calling to you. Man, y'all about to be mad at me.
No, let them be
But
mad.
sometimes a man tries to get his way through a woman's heart through laughter, listening you talk, you tell them exactly what it is that you want. They get all up close and next to your kids because they came calling, but you wasn't doing no choosing. When you choose, you'll see that way before the person even get there. He ain't even married to her. Look how he acted. I'm just saying. Let me get back over here on my computer.
Your piggyback.
I'm not sure how I'm gonna piggyback on that one.
Because I'm curious about your
So it's like-
piggyback.
But see, you talk about chosen and
Well,
called.
what were you thinking?
And, well, balance. Going back
Get
to
balance.
balance. If we go back to to balance and go back to, I know that you shared that the roles, you know what I mean, are intermingled and interlaced. But if we go back foundationally, and when I say foundationally, this is research. Research says that the father being in the home brings about identity,
Yes.
brings about discipline, and brings about boundaries, teaches
Yes.
on boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the father is absent in that
Mhm.
the individual loses identity,
Yes.
Absolutely.
right? And so there's a
Self-worth.
Mhm.
whole other,
Yes.
you know what I
Absolutely right.
mean,
Mhm.
lane of what comes from not knowing,
Yes.
you know what I mean, who you are.
Mm.
Now the mom brings more of the emotional balance,
Mhm.
Mm.
right? Brings autonomy, right?
You all love
And
me.
brings safety.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
so foundationally, if those things are not present, you know what I mean, we're going to have that imbalance. We're going to have the over mothering, under fathering, or over fathering, under mothering
Mhm.
pieces of it. Biblically,
Mhm.
biblically, Proverbs 1:8 says, "Hear your father's instruction and do not forsake your mother's teaching."
Mhm.
Mm.
Prior to that, though, the scripture prior to that, I believe, is Proverbs 1:7, and it says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge," right? But then it goes on to say, "But fools despise wisdom and instruction."
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so let's piece this together.
Yep.
Right. So what I'm saying is we got to go to the Father for our identity.
Mhm.
And the Father being God. We are created in his image after his likeness, right? And so we have these foundational things. We have that identity. We have that discipline. We have that boundary setting and that boundary formation. But we also have on the flip side the emotional regulation, the safety, right? And the protection, right? That comes with. So combining it all together,
Mhm.
so the roles are not, you know what I'm saying, intermingled and I guess made to reflect society. We got to go back, you know what I'm saying, to the beginning and look at the foundation of the thing. But
Absolutely.
identity
Mhm.
is a huge piece of it. Yeah,
It is.
definitely.
You right. And I was like, how can I get us back to that
Mhm.
part of it? Because that's exactly what I was thinking when we're talking about being underfathered, hindering or impacting our identity.
Mhm.
When you don't know who you are,
Mhm.
you're lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
totally lost. And so I have written down like it affects your self-worth, it affects your security. So not having that father figure there, but I love how you took it back to
Mm.
understanding that the foundation of it all
That's
is
it.
having your identity in God.
Mhm.
And that's what I had to come to understand and heal from when I was underfathered.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I had to go to who my true father was, and he told me who I was because the heart of it all was I was struggling with who is Nikki?
Mm.
Who is
Absolutely. That's
she?
exactly what it
She
is.
doesn't have a her father.
Mhm.
No one laid it out to say this is who you are, who you can become. I had to go to the foundation
Mhm.
and find out who God said I was.
Mm.
And when I figured out who God said I was no longer struggling with self-worth.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
was no longer struggling with my confidence. I was no longer struggling with security. And even though my mom was present,
Yeah.
God showed me who he was even as a mother to me. He
Mhm.
provided that emotional
Mhm.
space that I needed. He provided that love that I needed. He showed me how I can be independent and dependent without losing
That's it.
who I am at my core. I'm telling you, I found a whole new realm of Nikki
Mhm.
when I dug deeper into finding out my identity, all because I was trying to attach.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I was trying to call
Mhm.
in something
Mhm.
without it actually me looking at what was already chosen for me.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
it was
And Nikki, I can definitely attest to that because I went through that.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna be very transparent and show you what it looks like. So um my biological father was not in my life, but at the age I think 12 or so, my stepdad came in, but it was not a good relationship that was there. And so as I got older, not having that true father figure present, I second guessed everything that I did
Mhm.
because I had to battle not knowing who my real father was and what I received from him,
Mhm.
but having a stepfather there that tried to compare me against other boys and people that I cannot measure up against. And so what I did is my identity was gone. So what I did was this. Every man that I thought had something good about them, I would pick and choose out of that and try to mix all that together. And in a
Yes.
sense, I didn't find out till later on in life when we were at Faith Mission Ministries that that ain't what God called you to be.
Yes.
That man has no part of your DNA structure for you to say, I want to be like this, that, and other. Understand it from a boy's standpoint. Oh, I want to be like Herschel Walker. I want to be like Bo. Got that. But you have to go back to what you said, back to the foundation, the root, and say, God, who am I? Who did you call me to be?
Yeah.
And when I started operating in who I was, everything else started to fall off.
Yes.
And then you started to see that some of the stuff that I said I wanted to know, that ain't what I really want to do.
Mhm.
And so you have to come to that point of knowing who you are called to be by God, that you have certain things about you that maybe even somebody else needs. But if you keep pretending trying to be somebody else, it'll never actually be able to come out. That killed my self-esteem, because I felt like if I see this guy and he's got this girl and he's dressing like this, well, I'm gonna try, that didn't work. Well, what's wrong with me? You just keep going. It's like a roller coaster of emotions until you sit somewhere and sit down and get settled.
Yeah.
Then you come to the fruition of who you really are. Then things start to pan out.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
This is, I'm sitting up thinking about, for those of you all who are listening and joining in a conversation here at the table, is can we really see, because we've presented a lot of things thus far in variables, but can you all really see why we share and we're going so hard, if you will, as the young kids say, about going to counseling?
Mm-hmm.
Because we share many different dynamics. You two parallel what would be considered overmothered and underfathered. We spoke about how our parents were there, but then the emotional attachment was not there. So hopefully you all can see that. I hate to say it like this, but whether the parents are in the home or not, there are still dynamics that we've presented. I think what the key point is there a healthy balance? So what I share with a lot of people in our generation, I keep lumping us together, is that yes, we understand that our parents were not afforded, especially in the Black community. I'm not going to speak for all, but most were not afforded to be able to go to a counselor. It was figuring out how I was going to feed these children for some. But then also that was their generations. I always tell my clients, I need us to understand something. We're not putting ourselves up by our bootstrap, because I can't stand it. However, we are getting it out the mud. And we have, many of us, has it as a tool where we could go to counseling, where we can get better. So if you recognize, ooh, I'm a single parent, whether it be the mom or the dad, I'm doing this. I thought what I was doing was best for the child, but I'm not even talking to the child because I'm telling them what they need to do and blah, blah, blah. If you realize that, ooh, we as a husband and wife are both in the home, but our home is dysfunctional, but we're trying to make it look like the American dream. Some individual counseling may be needed, some focus counseling may be needed, marriage, some family counseling may be needed. But we have the choice, we have the power to choose of whether we want to stay in some of the things that we've personally described that we dealt with growing up, or if we want to do better, because a lot of us have the resources.
Yes. I like the fact that you talk about choosing something, because there is choice in a lot of these different things. And so I want to say, whether or not you've been overmothered, underfathered, overfathered, undermothered, choosing peace, even if your parents don't or ever acknowledge harm, would be so beneficial for you. I feel like I hear that even across the board for us, is that we chose something and not all of us got an apology from a parent figure. I know I didn't. In a sense, no, I didn't. So, but I still chose peace. And I know a lot of people will look at it, well, yeah, I was overmothered or underfathered, and he went there and I'm still holding it against them, holding it over their head. What is it gaining you?
Right.
What is it gaining you to do it? To continuously hold something over someone who didn't have the capacity or doesn't have the capacity to even give you what it is you think you need. And I won't even go further with that. Do you even know what you needed?
Mhm.
Do you know what you need now that you didn't receive?
Mm.
Do you even know? And that again, going back to that whole going to therapy piece,
Mhm.
sometimes you won't find that out until you're in that
Yeah.
position to where you're challenged about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And therapy will definitely challenge you when it comes to that.
Mm. This is a good topic. Good job, Larisha. I'm just like,
Yes.
this is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is deep.
Mhm.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. How much time we got? We got some time.
We got about 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. We can't go.
Maybe 3.
We can't go there.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't go there. So we gonna end it right here.
Mhm.
We could go even deeper, y'all. We just
Absolutely.
processing for a moment because I feel like this can go in so many different directions, so many questions that could be asked and answered, and information that can be given, different things that could still show up. If you're struggling with that, please seek counsel. Go seek help. Ask somebody if you know a therapist and they willing to talk to you for free. Go talk to them. I don't know, pro bono, whatever. There are people out there who would do that, but go talk to somebody because we want to break the cycle. We want to break the cycle of being overmothered and underfathered, overfathered and undermothered. We want to break that cycle. Y'all got anything y'all want to say to the people?
This
think
is
we did
good.
it. Mhm.
Okay,
I'm
so
processing over here.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me too.
my last wrap-up statement will be healing isn't about rewriting your childhood.
Mm.
It's about reclaiming your adulthood.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Reclaim who you are as an adult.
Mic drop.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Thank y'all so much for watching us here tonight at Talk Therapy Heal. As always, we hope that something that was shared at this table will penetrate your mind or has penetrated your mind, your heart, that will cause you to want to do something different, that will cause you to want to make change in your life. If you're watching by way of YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. If you are listening to us by way of podcast, don't forget to share. And as always, we would love to hear your thoughts. We thank you again for joining us. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.